Yo guys, it's Ben here. I'm doing this video to show you a lot about something I've been talking about recently, and I've talked about it really maybe without explaining it properly. It's something called nutrient timing, as you can see there. And I found that, you know, throughout diets and nutrition and all the things I've seen in the past, that people can get the food right pretty easy. I can tell them, you know, eat carrots, eat broccoli, eat spinach, eat, you know, greens, eat meat, eat fat. But the most challenging thing for anyone is when to have it. Obviously, like I said in the past, no nutrient is the enemy. There's no sort of, you should be avoiding fat, you shouldn't be avoiding protein, you should all, you know, sugar is needed, but when is it needed is the most important thing. And the reason I've got a picture of a flame burning here is the analogy I like to use. If you see this sort of campfire, oh, it's gone, oh, sorry, woo, okay. You see it burning there. What I'm trying to illustrate here is that your metabolism, okay, is just like a fire. If you treat your metabolism in your mind like a fire, okay, you're almost trying to sort of imagine it like you're trying to stoke it all the time. The more you keep it roaring, okay, the more you're gonna have well, you're gonna have a higher metabolism, okay, the rate at which we burn energy. So I want you to imagine now, you've got this campfire, okay, and it's got to stay ablaze, you know, all the time. If you've got a fire, you know, you've stoked, you need to sort of heat to boil some water. You're obviously going to put some sticks on there, maybe some gas to get it going, and then maybe put some coal on. And then 2 minutes later, you're going to, you know, heat your pot, and that's what you're trying to do before your workouts. Whereas when you go into bed at night, you want it to keep it ticking over. You want to keep it slow burning, so when in the morning you're not, you know, ravenous. You know, you've got enough energy through the night to sort of keep yourself going, okay. And that's why I say have fats and stuff like that at night. That's why we wouldn't have, you know, before going to bed, you know, a sugary meal is just a nightmare. There is a strategy, one strategy, but I'll tell you about that in a bit. And so, what I'm going to talk you through now, just on this slide here, is how I have this vision of this fire, keeping it stoked throughout the day. So we wake up in the morning, and the first thing we do is that, you know, if you've got a campfire in the morning that's still got some cinders glowing, you want to get it going again. What are you going to have? Well, you're going to put, you know, something that's going to get it going again. So you're going to have a small amount of kindling, okay, so a bit of chopped wood. That's equivalent to maybe a small bowl of oats or some good carbohydrates like a banana. But the thing is though, if you don't put anything with that banana, the problem is that it'll get roaring and it'll have nothing to burn, so it'll go back down and it'll start dampening down again, the flame. So what you need then to do is to put something that it can sort of burn when it gets going. That's why you have like a banana omelette. It's a great idea with that one, because you've got the carbohydrate there in the banana, but you've also got the fat and the protein in there from the egg. You know, again, a good idea is something like fish as well. Putting some fish with some, you know, some green veg. Okay, the green veg is a carbohydrate. Again, it's going to get that metabolism going. The fat's going to get going as well, and you've got some good protein in there. Also, then you get to sort of where people just have porridge. Okay, my idea of having porridge is great. You know, porridge is really good, but the thing is though, if you have porridge in the morning, it's purely carbohydrate. It's got nothing else to sort of burn as well. So when you get to about 11 o'clock, you'll either be tired or you'll need another big feed again, because your body wouldn't have had the fats or the protein. Because remember, your body doesn't know the difference between carbohydrates, fats and protein. It just knows that it needs one of them, so it'll tell you you're hungry. So you need to get fat, carbohydrate and protein at every meal, every big feed. Okay? So we get to the snack time. You need something like nuts or berries. You know, again, having them together so they can burn for longer. Lunchtime, okay, you've been up for a while, you've maybe done some activity. If you're someone who sits on their arse and you don't do any sort of activity in the morning, you haven't done a fitness camp, you don't need a lot of carbs in the morning, okay, you need fat and protein. You can obviously need a little bit, okay, to satisfy that need for carbohydrate. When you get to lunchtime, you can have a bit of carbohydrates, like a sweet potato, some brown rice, put some oils in there to get the fats up, and maybe something like as well, like a good piece of meat, small piece of meat that needs to be big, and then loads of, you know, throughout the day, and then loads of water, you know, again, you know, keeping metabolism high with water. Pre-training, I'm a big advocate for fat pre-training. One with coconut oil, it's got something called medium chain triglycerides in there, MCTs. You don't really need to know what they do, but all you need to know is they act like a carbohydrate. And then when you actually eat them, they will fuel your workout very efficiently. Unlike something like carbohydrate or a sugary drink, will make you really energetic for about 10-15 minutes, but you'll crash. Fats don't do that, they burn for longer. Okay, then evening meal, post-workout. If you've done a workout in the evening, you can have some carbs in there. But if you haven't, just really low GI carbohydrates and a big piece of fish or meat. And again, protein at every meal does help ramp the metabolism up as well. Okay, what are we up to now? Ooh. Okay, slow metabolism. I hear that so often. My thyroid, it's the thyroid. Okay, it's not your thyroid, okay, often. Is that, yeah, there is some elements in there with your thyroid. But our thyroid gland is what controls our metabolism. I'll go through a few things about that in a minute. But it's not you've got a slow metabolism, you've got a very fast pie arm. Okay, but again, this is more of a habit thing. You might have a slow metabolism, but you've got to control your eating and your cravings, and you do that by having lots of water, getting carbs, fat and protein, okay, every single meal. Metabolism, if you actually look at what metabolism means, the sum of the chemical processes that occur in living organisms. Ooh, orgasms, woohoo! Organisms, said it again. Metabolism is about growth, production of energy, elimination of waste, and maintaining homeostasis. And if you think about it, elimination of waste material, okay, the elimination of nutrition, okay, when we start getting rid of the energy that needs to be used to get rid of waste material, okay, we can start going towards growth. We can use it for production of energy, so we become more energetic, and maintaining homeostasis. So this is like maintaining the right amount of heat in your body and maintaining the energy level throughout the day. But what happens with a lot of people is that they have so much of their metabolism geared towards getting rid of waste material. Then they have real bad problems with production of energy. They haven't got enough, hasn't got as much energy that can be put towards growth. And they still, when people are cold, sometimes they get cold hands, they got really poor energy, they're always too hot or too cold, hot flushes and stuff like that. Probably because they're toxic, okay? They've got a toxic liver, so they need to get rid of the liver stress in order to pay more attention to growth and production of energy. And that's why you notice after about 3 or 4 days of being on the fitness camp, you either get a real bad headache and you come through that area, and day 4 and 5 you feel much better. Okay, so what slows it down? This is really important. We get to the nitty-gritty stuff now. So lack of activity. If you are lazy, you don't have your brain active, you're not doing crosswords, your body's not active, you're not doing any exercise, your metabolism will naturally just slow down and it'll become a fat storing machine, okay? Again, if you do too much exercise and you don't feed yourself, and your body will say, hang on a second, I need to slow my metabolism down because otherwise I'm going to run out of fuel. And that's down to something called leptin hormone. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into this. You don't need to know why. Okay, unless you can ask me about it in the questions below if you want. So if you do too much, it will slow it down, and if you do too little, it will slow it down. Okay, so what you need to do is make anyone especially older generations. Okay, if their brain isn't active, okay, again, like I said before, brain is the biggest consumer of sugar. It's a sugar hog. Okay, so if you can get your brain mega active, what happens then is you get lots and lots of sugar metabolism. It's a good thing, okay? Again, body as well, getting yourself out in the morning for walks, for any sort of activity is better than nothing than sitting on the couch and watching TV. I think, definitely sitting and watching EastEnders is definitely going to slow your metabolism down, so don't watch EastEnders. Again, sleep, if you can get yourself... Sleep is when we do the majority of our respiring, okay? We create energy, and if we haven't got a lot of sleep, our metabolism is going to slow because it knows that we're not going to be able to produce energy. Consistency actually slows down your metabolism. Having the same meals or lack of calories every day, your body will actually go, whoa, hang on a second, okay, we're going to chill out here, we're going to slow the body down because we're not got enough energy. So now and again you need to change the amount of calories you're having. One day have a high carb meal, next day have low carbs or no carbs, okay? You can play with that. Way back when we didn't have a lot of food in the supermarket, stuff like that, some days we wouldn't eat. That's why fasting is a strategy. It's not something you want to do every day though, definitely not. Prolonged stress. You know, if you're in a stressful relationship, you're in a stressful environment 24/7, this is going to slow your metabolism down because your body thinks it has to respond to something. And again, it can't tell the difference between running away from a saber-toothed tiger and having a fight with your angry boss. It just stores fat, okay? It just stores and it gets ready to sort of have to endure a period of stress, so it sort of gets all the nutrients it can and stores them. If you're eliminating a fuel source like carbohydrates, if you just take it out altogether, eventually your body's going to say, whoa, stop. You know, any chance it gets to store that, it will do. Same with fat. That's why cutting out fat is not the answer. Any sort of fat you get, you'll store, okay? Because your body will be like, whoa, I don't get a lot of this. Store it for later when I need it. Toxicity, like I said before, if we've got lots of, if we've got actually a lot of fluoride and toxicity from water going through the thyroid gland, it actually removes iodine, which then slows your metabolism down because you can't create the hormones which actually control your metabolism. It just slows it down. So definitely, if you've got a problem with your thyroid, if you think you've got a slow metabolism, get off tap water and get onto the cleanest water you actually can possibly afford. Bottled water, you know, I'm drinking bottled water here now with some vitamin C in it. You know, just going with a decent, clean bottled water from a natural mineral source will help with that as well. What speeds it up? So this is stuff you really need to know as well. How can we do this? Exercise. Short, intermittent exercise, no longer than 45 minutes, will help ramp up that metabolism, okay, because it'll make you have to recover. The reason exercise actually helps you build your metabolism is it helps you put on muscle. Muscle actually needs more nutrients, so your body actually actively sort of ramps up and then gets those nutrients in to feed that muscle, okay? So the more muscle we have, okay, the more higher our metabolism. So that's why building muscle is far more efficient than something like cardio, which actually can degrade the muscle a little bit. That's why I always sort of, you know, jogging and Zumba, that's the sort of exercise. It doesn't build muscle. Sometimes it can actually even degrade the muscle. Then we get, you know, we get fat gain. Again, this is how I try to understand slimming world. I never understood how we actually got the weight loss. And if you keep insulin high all the time by having lots of carbohydrates, you know, big bathtubs full of pasta, you get the degradation of the muscle, which is a heavy tissue, and you get increased fat stores, which is not as heavy. So the scales look good, but you look like a bag of fat. Amino acids, okay. You know, if you don't understand these, you come to someone like myself and I can explain it a bit more in depth. But amino acids like free-form and branch-chain amino acids ramp up the metabolism. They really cause that increased metabolism. Lots of great studies to support that as well. Respiration, sleep, getting good quality sleep within, you know, as soon as the light goes down, 10 o'clock at night, you know, in summertime, you know, 11 o'clock at night, getting up with the sun as well. Getting good quality sleep of 7 to 8 hours is fantastic, especially the first 3 hours of sleep that you're unbroken. Thermoregulation, this is an interesting one. And if any of you read The 4-Hour Body or seen this stuff on cold bathing, where you actually just jump in a cold bath for a couple of minutes, thermoregulation is where your body has to actually, one of the main functions of your body's energetic system is actually control your heat. If you make yourself really cold, your body will actually, your heart rate goes up, you have to, you know, you start to shiver, and this is your body increasing metabolic rate to control your heat. Because the more we metabolize, the more sort of heat we generate in our body. And it's the same with getting really hot as well. But thermoregulation in the sort of cold way is far more effective. That's why cold showers for 2-3 minutes before bed, amazing. Adding muscle, again, you know, putting muscle on will help raise metabolism. Do that with strength training, using weight, using body weight even. Brain activity. You know, if you've got someone who doesn't really get an activity, sitting in front of, you know, EastEnders in the evening, they're watching really sort of crummy films, they're not really sort of getting their brain in gear, that's gonna, you know, gonna slow the metabolism down. So get them doing something. You know, if you've got a partner you're worried about them becoming a bit sedentary in their sort of late age, get them doing something, get involved in a hobby, get them really thinking about things, puzzles, you know, doing friggin' Sudoku on the bog. You know, it's really gonna help increase that metabolism through sort of brain activity. Get him going, guys, honestly, really important, that one. Really will help against sort of, well, just being fat. No, more things than that. Okay, I'm not going to go into it too far. And stimulants. Okay, stimulants. I really want to make a point about this one. These sort of weight loss pills, crash dieting sort of drinks, where like Grenade or Thermopure. Yes, okay, caffeine and all these stimulants they put in them will increase metabolism, but the problem is it's like doing a deal with the devil. As much as you ramp up the metabolism by using these stimulants, okay, you will fatigue the adrenal glands and the brain and everything like that, and the cortisol will go straight up as well. And long term, you will just bang on the weight after. So yes, short term, you'll lose the weight, great, fantastic, but health long term is what we're looking at. It's not a good idea. Okay, you'll definitely pop the weight back on. And again, stimulants are often toxins as well. Okay, so we'll use them. How to use nutrient timing. Okay, so how to actually use the food you eat to make your metabolism higher. Morning, you should be eating some protein, fat and carbohydrate. Okay, I know I use a lot of eggs, and I say eggs, eggs are great, but there's other stuff as well. Fish, there's meat, there's obviously legumes, there's you can use soups as well, where you put in small pieces of shellfish in there as well. Being really imaginative with your morning. Don't just stick with grains because Kellogg told us we had to eat grains in the morning. Okay, the only reason we have grains in the morning is because it's been told to us by sort of habit and marketing and media. Get yourself up in the morning, shreddies, a complete breakfast with milk and sugar. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, the only thing that you're going to be doing is spiking your insulin, and then when you do that, you can only store fat. You can't burn it. Okay. Again, you can have carbs in the morning, but they don't necessarily need to be grains. They can be from vegetables, okay, as well. Eating nuts and berries, so you can keep eating, okay, but again, we're looking at these 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. These are your 3 big meals. You can have snacks in the middle if you need them. If you don't do any exercise, you don't need them. You just drink water and herbal teas, man. Afternoon, you're having a good, sweet potato, broccoli, and a piece of fish. Good size, if you're hungry, eat more, or eat it in 2 sections. Again, drinking water with that as well. And your evening meal, keep that evening meal really low carbohydrate, okay, as low as possible. If you train in the evening, okay, you're going to be putting more carbs in than someone trains in the morning, okay. If you're someone in the morning, you can have more carbohydrates than someone in the evening, okay. By keeping your evening carbs nice and low, you'll go to bed with low insulin levels, which means your growth hormone will be nice and high. Okay, and that's what you want. You'll sleep better, and you'll also get loads of fat metabolism in the evening and while you're sleeping. Pre and post workouts. The 3 hours pre-workout is probably going to either be you either sleep. Okay, so if you're asleep, that means that you're going to be working on an empty stomach, which is not a bad idea anyway. You're going to have 1 hour pre-workout. You can have maybe some of you wake up nice and early in the morning. You have a teaspoon of coconut oil, tablespoon of coconut oil. If you can't stomach that, something like a good pre-workout shake, like amino acids. Those what they called Amino Work Capacity by Phil Richards. They're amazing pre-workout. You're in a really metabolic state. You're really ready to go when you have that pre-workout. Yeah, they're expensive, but the results you see is insane. During, if it's a long workout, lots of water. Keep yourself hydrated so you're not going in a massive cortisol state, stress state. Keep water quite high during your workout. 15 minutes post workout. The thing your body wants is sugar and protein. So something like half a banana and a protein shake, or some nuts, or well, actually not nuts. They're quite fatty. I'd go with something like if you can bring something along that's a good source of protein for your post workout. Shakes, are great post workout. Eggs are pretty good as well. Really easily digestible proteins. And then 2 hours post, you want a good dose of medium GI carbohydrates, which are like your sweet potatoes, your lentils. What else is there? Your brown rice is a great one for that. Okay, brown rice, not white rice, because brown rice hasn't got any gluten in it. White rice is bleached. Okay, so no white carbohydrates as well. So no pasta white, even brown pasta, that's quite high gluten as well. But I'd just go brown rice, sweet potato, or even something like chickpeas or legumes are great as well. Strategies, okay, so summary, okay, lift heavy weights. So lifting heavy weight, it can even be your body weight. It can be kettlebells, it can be Olympic lifting. Okay, that has a really positive effect on body fat. Building muscle so that we can ramp up a metabolism. Drinking clean water. Okay, so we're not stressed because we're dehydrated, and we're also getting flushing out all the toxins as well. So we're adding that to so we're flushing out the toxins, so we're not having to expend as much energy getting rid of those toxins. Get good sleep, not at your desk or in front of an LCD screen. Okay, getting to sleep, bed on time, being strict, having a routine, saying to yourself, what am I missing out on by going to bed this extra hour? Often than not, you're just fanning around for the last hour before bed anyway. Well, I do anyway. That's my own personal experience. And again, Iodine Forte. Okay, that's a great little product. I've noticed with a lot of people with any sort of thyroid condition. Because Iodine Forte, what it does, it nourishes the thyroid. Okay, it helps create the hormone. It's the nutrient that actually helps create the hormones, which is T3 and T4. It's generally what we're depleted in our diet nowadays. If you look at China and Japan, they're the lowest levels of thyroid problems in the world. It's because they eat a lot of seaweed. And what Iodine Forte is, it's actually just seaweed. It's actually kelp. And like anything, if you don't use it, you just excrete it anyway. It's a natural product, okay? Hope that helps, guys. For any of you got any questions about anything on that, bang them in the comment box below or get in touch with me at ben@fastwaytofitness.co.uk. Thanks for watching this.